Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Street Chord Dave, and today we're going to talk about a Gibson ES-345, aka the Marty McFly. Yes, guys, if you haven't seen it yet, the Gibson Custom Shop, I think yesterday, announced the custom ES-345 signature model for Marcus King, and it is a replica of his 1962 ES-345, which was once owned by his grandfather, passed down to his father, and now it's his, and he's been playing it since I think he said he was 18 years of age. If you don't know who Marcus King is, very promising young blues guitar player, very talented young guy. Definitely going to be a big star in the future, I think. And you know, I'm a big blues fan, you guys know that, and I think this guy's really got it to be up there. But anywho, he's got a Gibson Custom Shop signature model now, and the video is about 6 minutes long on the Gibson website showing it, and shows his excitement and everything about it. Now, this guitar is one of those where I think it sails under the radar. Everybody thinks this guitar is a 335. Not everybody. You probably knew it already, but people think these guitars are all, this shape is all 335s. And of course, that's not the case. So there's a lot of differences, and I'm going to point some of those out to you now in a moment. But first, let's just take a moment to recognize what I said in the intro. This is, in fact, the Marty McFly signature model as well. So yeah, Marty McFly, when he went back to the future, or to the past in Back to the Future, in 1955, he was playing at the school dance. He was playing an ES-345. How you know that is pretty much because you got the split parallelogram inlays on the fretboard, which you've got on this guitar. You've got the Veritone switch, which you've got on this guitar, and also a Bigsby, which you don't have on this guitar. We'll get back to in just a few moments. But yeah, so it's a 345. Now, the thing about that is, this again, let's just go into Back to the Future history for a moment. That was it. Movie set in 1955. However, the 345 did not come out, was not released by Gibson until 1958. So a bit of an inaccuracy there for the Back to the Future crew. But hey, what can you do? They can't get everything right. And just in case you think I'm lying, here's a picture of Marty McFly playing the 345, or Michael J. Fox playing it probably in between shoots there. Anyway, let's take a look at the Marcus King guitar again. The one thing that really stands out about this guitar for me is the sideways vibrola. And the reason is you don't really see them on anything other than an SG. And the reason for that is the SG is flat, and like a Les Paul isn't, and an arch top isn't. So the reason they don't work is because they'll scratch the surface. And in fact, that's exactly what Gibson say on the website here. You can see a little bit of blurb here from the website. They say that if you use the sideways vibrola, you may graze the finish. And, you know, that's interesting that they're pointing that out. Now, I've worked in customer service for a long time, and I know people are going to buy this guitar, they're going to play it, they're going to love it, and they're going to use the sideways vibrola, and they're going to scratch up their guitar. And then they're going to get on to Gibson and say, hey, my guitar is all scratched up. Why is it? What? Like, give me a new one. And Gibson are going to tell them to jump off a cliff. Now, who's right and who's wrong? Gibson are literally saying right here, if you use it, you're going to scratch the guitar. I don't think a lot of people are going to read the blurb on the thing, but so I don't know if they're going to put a warning in the box or something, but they're probably going to have to, because people will be people, and human people are human. Anyway, so who plays a 345, and why is it not the very same thing as a 335? So famous players, of course, would be Chuck Berry. He's right behind me there with his 345. One of the best guitar players of all time, obviously most influential guitar players of all time as well. You got Freddie King. B.B. King played a 345 for a long time. Lucille, before someone says it, Lucille, B.B. King's famous guitar, was actually a 355, which had a maple neck instead of a mahogany neck. That's a whole other video right there. So those, and Marty McFly, of course, are the most famous of the 345 players. But don't worry if you are a little bit confused, like, why is this not a 335? What, you know, what's a 355? I thought they were all the same. Because even Gibson make a mess of it sometimes themselves. In fact, on the Gibson website for this Marcus King signature, if you scroll down the specs, it shows body type right at the top and it says 335. So they think it's a 335 despite it being called a 345. Well done, Gibson. On their other listing for a Gibson ES-345 at the moment, they have it listed as a 345, so definitely they know the difference. They just got it wrong on this one. A couple of things to look out for, again, if you are trying to figure out what is a 345, what's a 335. So the 345 will have the split parallelogram inlays. That's right, I said it right that time. And and there won't be an inlay in the first fret. So that is something that you'll see on the 355, and of course not on the 335 from memory. You also have the Veritone switch down here in the control section. And that is, I mean, look, people like to say, position 1 sounds like a 335, position 2 sounds like BB King, and all the rest of the positions sound like shit. I love that joke. And of course, the 345 though was in the Gibson lineup catalogue for a long time. This was 1958, as I said, was when it was introduced, and it was discontinued in 1981. Has come back in various reissue forms since then, of course, but now this is the latest version, and it actually looks like a pretty cool guitar if you are into that sort of thing. Something that has confused me or made me wonder, so on the Gibson page, they have it listed as 60s Cherry. Now, I don't recall seeing that before today, so please, if that's something that I have just missed, please let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe while you're doing that, because that really helps out the channel. But I went and checked some other Cherry listings on the Gibson website, and a fair few of them say 60s Cherry as well. Was it not Heritage Cherry? I know when I bought my SG, it was listed as Heritage Cherry, so I don't know when they started calling it 60s Cherry. Maybe you can let me know in the comment section below if you're aware of when that change was made, or if this has always been a thing, if they've always called it 60s Cherry and I've just been missing out, because that's possible too. And just in case you're curious, this guitar retails at $6,999, which is expensive. So probably not many of us are going to be picking it up. I do think it's a very cool guitar though, and I like to see something a little bit different from the ordinary. So, you know, everybody can reissue a Les Paul or an SG of some kind, but the 345 is actually its own standalone model that was for sale independently for a long time. And let's be honest, the first guitar that I ever fell in love with was Marty McFly's in Back to the Future. So it was an ES-345, which means the ES-345 will always have a special place in my heart because I'm a big child and I think that's great. So guys, I'd love to know your thoughts though on this, the ES-345 reissue custom shop model for Marcus King. So please let me know in the comment section below what you think of this. Is this something that you would pick up yourself? Are you a fan of the 345? Who is your favorite 345 player? Because mine's probably Chuck Berry, to be honest. I love BB King as well. Freddie King obviously is great. All these guys who play them, but Chuck Berry is probably my favorite 345 player of all time. And yeah, listen to this Marcus King kid. He is a very, very good guitar player. If you haven't been listening to him, throw a few songs onto your Spotify or your Apple Music or whatever you listen to your music on. I'm sure you will be impressed. And guys, that is it for today. Just a quick video on a Wednesday, but I'll be back again on Saturday where we'll have some more guitar news and all sorts of things. So I'll see you then. Take care.